Hey, today I'm going to teach you 5 English idioms you must know. After this lesson, you will be able to use the idioms like a native English speaker. Are you ready? Well then, I'm teacher Tiffany. Let's jump right in. All right, our first English idiom is be in a tight spot. I want you to repeat it after me for pronunciation practice. Be in a tight spot. Excellent, very good. Now this idiom is very commonly used and it just means to be in a difficult situation. I want to explain it to you. Think about tight. When something is really tight, think about when you were a kid, right? And your mom would buy clothes for you that were a little bit too small. You'd put on the shirt, but you just felt restricted, like you could not move. It was very difficult for you to move because the clothes were too tight. Well, the same idea applies to this idiom. Being in a difficult situation or being in a tight spot. Now let's look at an example sentence. Here's the first example sentence. You have put me in a tight spot. I think I need to let you go. Hey, you've made my situation very difficult and I think I'm going to have to let you go. Imagine you were a manager or a boss and you were speaking to your employee that did something really bad for the company and the company was negatively affected. That's a difficult situation. You are in a tight spot, so you have to let him or her go. Makes sense, right? Okay, let's look at the second sentence using this idiom. Her divorce put her in a tight spot, but she is doing better now. I want you to think about this. Divorce is never a good situation for people. Even when two people decide mutually to divorce, there are lots of difficulties that come up after that divorce. Financial difficulties, dealing with the children, who's going to have custody, lots of difficult situations, and many of them relate to finances. You go from a 2-person household with income, 2-income household, to now 1 income, only 1 salary. So that's a very difficult situation. You've put me in a tight spot. The divorce put her in a tight spot. Make sense? All right, now what about this example sentence right here? Jeremy put me in a tight spot, a difficult situation, when he brought up the bankruptcy in front of everyone. Oh my goodness. It was a very difficult situation. Put him in a tight spot. All right, so one more time after me. Be in a tight spot. Excellent, very good. Now, the next English idiom that will really help you out is this one right here. Be off the mark. Be off the mark. After me, be off the mark. Excellent. Now, this just means not achieving the desired result due to inaccuracy. I want to show you this visually. I want you to think about a goal. Maybe a goal that you have in your life. Your goal is what? To speak English fluently, right? And maybe your goal is to do that within this year or maybe next year. That is your goal. So I want you to imagine, I have my marker. I'm going to get a sheet of paper. And I want you to imagine that this sheet of paper, I'm going to write down your goal in the middle. Speak English fluently. That is your goal. That is your target. And your target is right in the center of this paper right here. You see that? Speak English fluently. That is your target. However, you miss your target and you're not able to speak English fluently just yet. Keep watching these lessons. You are off the mark. You did not hit the target. That can happen in business or in other aspects of life. So let's look at an example sentence. Again, being off the mark means not achieving the desired result. Here's a first example sentence. I was really off the mark on my exams. So think about it. Your exams, your tests, maybe you want to get an A. You want an A plus. But instead of an A plus on your test, you get a B minus. So in this situation, your goal was to get an A plus, but you got a B minus. You were off the mark. You caught it, right? Excellent. Now, the second example sentence. His efforts were off the mark. She was too hysteric to console. She couldn't comfort him. His efforts were off the mark. He made an effort, but she was too hysterical. He could not actually comfort her. Off the mark. His goal, comfort, but he was not able to. Off the mark. All right, what about this third example sentence? The weather forecast was really off the mark today. They said it was going to be a really hot day today, but instead it was really brisk outside, really cold. The weather forecast was really off the mark today. Makes sense, right? Okay, excellent. So one more time after me. Be off the mark. Excellent. Now, this third example idiom is very, very important. The idiom is bend over backwards. One more time after me. Bend over backwards. Excellent. I want you to think about this. Bending over is not difficult, but bending backwards can be a little bit challenging. This idiom actually means to work extra hard in an effort to make someone happy. I want you to be happy. I want you to achieve your goals. I'm working hard. I'm actually bending over backwards to make sure you achieve your English goals. Makes sense, right? Okay, excellent. Now I want us to look at the first example sentence. Here we go. Jamie's husband constantly bends over backwards for her. He's trying to make an extra effort to make his wife happy. Bend over backwards. You see how useful this idiom actually is. Next, I bent over backwards for that guy, and he still treats me poorly. You went over, up, above, and over all that you had to do. You worked extra hard to make him happy, but he still treats you poorly. We say bend over backwards. And the third one, I only bend over backwards for my family. I only make an extra effort for my family to make them happy. Again, I only bend over backwards for my family. Now, I want to talk to you about something really quickly because this idiom is so important. Again, bending over backwards. You all know that I bend over backwards to help you achieve all of your English goals. But actually, the sponsor of today's video also bends over backwards for you each and every day. Cambly, right here. I want to thank Cambly so much for sponsoring this video. You see, Cambly offers English tutors to English learners like you around the world. They offer English tutors from America, Canada, Australia, and the UK, and they are available 24/7. Every day, every time of day, every week for you. They are bending over backwards because they want to help you achieve your goals. Now, you all know how much I love Cambly because Cambly wants to help you by giving you a free 10-minute lesson. They want to help you reach your goal. They want to help you finally speak English fluently. And they said, Tiffani, we want your students to get an opportunity to practice with an English tutor, an amazing English tutor. Now, if you're really serious about truly taking your English to the next level, they have a 40% off any 12-month plan coupon just for you. Now, the link is in the description. Again, remember, Cambly has English tutors that bend over backwards to help you reach your English goals. Cambly, thank you so much. I want to encourage everyone to click that link in the description and get your English tutor today and start speaking English fluently. Thanks again, Cambly. All right, guys, let's jump back into the lesson. Remember, hit the link in the description. Now, our fourth English idiom is right here. Bite off more than you can chew. Again, bite off more than you can chew. Excellent, very good. Now, this just means to make a commitment you cannot fulfill. To make a commitment, a promise that you cannot fulfill. I want you to think about a big sandwich, right? Maybe you like burgers, right? And there's a huge burger and you want to eat this burger. So you go to take a bite, but you're not able to eat this entire burger, but you try to stuff it in your mouth and then you're not able to talk. You've bitten off more than you can chew, and your commitment was to eat the whole thing, but you're not able to. So in the idiom, it's the same. Taking on a commitment, making a promise that you cannot fulfill. So I'm actually kind of hungry now. Here we go. Here's the first example sentence. I think I bit off more than I can chew with this new job. I thought I could handle it, but whoo, there's too much responsibility. I really bit off more than I could chew. Make sense? All right, now the second example sentence is, I need to expand to build my company, but I don't want to bite off more than I can chew. I don't want to make a commitment that I cannot fulfill. Bite off more than I can chew. Don't forget that big burger, all right? And the third example sentence is right here. He is about to bite off more than he can chew by marrying Sabrina. She's a wild one. Now, I'll say it again. She's a wild one just means, whoo, she's a little bit much for him to handle. She's a little wild. She's a little excited and a little bit too much. So again, he is about to bite off more than he can chew by marrying Sabrina. She's a wild one. He's trying to commit to her, but I don't know if he's going to stay in this marriage. Bite off more than you can chew. All right, last time after me. Bite off more than you can chew. Excellent. All right, now the fifth idiom you must know. This idiom is bitter pill to swallow. Bitter pill to swallow. Excellent. Think of a pill. You know, you have to take a pill as medicine and you swallow it, right? Usually pills are small, right? Not huge because they're too difficult to swallow when they're big. So doctors and companies make them small. Now, a bitter pill means when you actually take the pill in, oh my goodness, I can't take this pill. It's difficult. The meaning is an unpleasant happening that is difficult to endure, an unpleasant situation that is difficult to proceed forward in, difficult to endure. So let's look at an example sentence. Here we go, the first one. Moving away from family, this situation was a bitter pill to swallow. Unpleasant, not something that you would like to do. I don't want to move away from my family. I'll miss them. A bitter pill to swallow. Very difficult. I don't want to accept this. Bitter pill to swallow. Next, the pandemic is a bitter pill to swallow, but we will overcome this. It's not something that you like. It's not something that you enjoy. It's unpleasant. It's a bitter pill to swallow. And finally, this one. Failing the bar exam again was a bitter pill to swallow, but I will make sure I pass next time. Again, I wanted to pass the bar exam to become a lawyer, but I didn't. And that was unpleasant, but I had to accept it. It was a bitter pill to swallow. Makes sense, right? So again, after me, bitter pill to swallow. Excellent. Very good job. Now you know what time it is. It's time for your quiz. I want to see how much you remember out of these 5 idioms. Here's question number 1, and I'm going to start the timer after I read it. The pandemic is but we will overcome this. 5 seconds. Time. What's the answer? Excellent. The pandemic is a bitter pill to swallow, but we will overcome this. Excellent job. Very good. What about this second quiz question? I know you can do it. Jeremy dot, 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 when he brought up the bankruptcy in front of everyone. 5 seconds. Time. What's the answer? Come on. Yes, put me in a difficult spot. Excellent job. Now, what about this question right here? Question number 3. I need to expand my company, but I don't want to. 5 seconds starting now. Time. I gave you an extra second. What's the answer? I don't want to bite off more than I can chew. Excellent. You're so smart. Now, what about this 4th question, the 4th quiz question? The weather forecast was really dot, dot, dot today. 5 seconds. Time. I gave you another extra second. What's the answer? Yes, off the mark, not accurate. Excellent. And what about question number 5? I dot, dot, dot for that guy and he still treats me poorly. 5 seconds. Here we go. Time. What's the answer? Excellent. I bent over backwards for that guy and he still treats me poorly. Excellent job. You are amazing. Today you learned 5 English idioms that you must know in order to finally sound like a native English speaker. I hope you understood them. I hope you enjoyed them, and I hope you use them today. Don't forget to click the link in the description because Cambly tutors are waiting to bend over backwards to help you reach your English goals. Hit that link in the description and I will see you next time. You still there? You know what time it is. Here we go. It's story time. Hey, I said it's story time. All right. So today's story is actually connected to one of the idioms that you learned today. The idiom that we are going to be talking about is be in a tight spot. So I want to tell you about when I was in South Korea. Now, during my time in South Korea, I was an English teacher as a missionary. I also was a student studying Oriental painting and also learning Korean. And I started this YouTube channel to help you speak English. So I was a very busy individual. But I always had a passion for helping people in need. And during my time in Korea, I saw many different individuals in need. You know that no matter where you go, you're going to find someone in need. And I saw lots of homeless people when I went downtown. Even in America, when you go downtown in the city, you'll see quite a few homeless people. And Korea was the same. And I felt like I needed to do something. I didn't just want to enjoy this wonderful country and teach English and learn Korean. I wanted to do something else. So, as you know, I'm a Christian. I prayed and I said, God, what can I do to help the homeless people I see when I go downtown? He said, okay, I want you to start something. And I started this monthly group. We would raise money and then take food to people downtown that were in need. Now, I had actually done the same thing when I lived in America prior to going to Korea. So I was continuing the same thing I did when I was in America. So every month we would raise money and our goal was to hand out 100 meals every month. It was so inspiring. People inspired me by how excited they were to help. It was so nice to talk to the homeless people. Again, I spoke Korean, so I could have conversations with them. And it was very interesting to learn their life stories and what happened to them. So every month our goal was 100 meals, which meant we had to raise about $400 to $500. And every month, we'd send out messages to our friends and say, hey, we're trying to raise money. People in America, my family and friends would donate money. My Korean friends in Korea would donate money because we all wanted to help people. But one month, we went out at the end of we were scheduled to go out at the end of the month. And it was about maybe a week away. The day that we were going to leave to go out, there was about a week period prior to that date. and we didn't have the money. We only had about $300. So we needed about $100 to $150 more. And the money wasn't coming in. So I said, God, you know I am doing this to help you, your people, Lord. I want to feed people. That's what I'd like to do. But God, I'm in a tight spot. I don't have the money we need to actually purchase the meals. I was in a tight spot. So I prayed and I said, God, I don't know how you're going to do it, but you have 7 days to figure it out. I prayed hard. Then I went to work. I was still teaching. And a few days later, I got my salary. I received my notice that said, Tiffani, you've received your salary for the month from the institute that I worked at. Now, we had a set salary every single month. As missionaries, we made a certain amount of money and we received it at the same time every month. So I wasn't looking for any extra money. But then I went to the bank and I looked at my stub that had the paper that showed me how much I made. And it was exactly what I needed to get the food for the homeless. It was about $150, the exact amount I needed to add to what we had raised to get food for that month for the homeless people. And I was in shock that God answers prayers like that, the simple prayers, and so quickly. Come to find out that my job at the time decided to give us all a bonus randomly. And this bonus, I used the bonus to help feed the homeless that month. We were all able to go out and we were able to hand out 100 meals. And I will never forget that situation because when I was in such a tight spot, God came through and gave me what I needed to help somebody else. Maybe you've also been in a tight spot and someone, God or someone else, has helped you. If so, let us know in the comment section. I hope you enjoyed today's story and I can't wait to see you next time.